Cache the password if SSH keys are forbidden. I have a server which I have to access frequently via SSH, because I compute on it. Now, the computing center explicitly forbids SSH keys because they are insecure. They feel that typing my password, on a keyboard, every time possible in front of other humans, is a much safer way to log in. Now, I cannot change their minds. I tried. Is there a way to at least temporarily store SSH passwords, the way Git can store passwords in a cache for some defined time?
Connection reuse. SSH v2 allows the same authenticated connection to establish multiple channels -interactive shell, batch command, SFTP, along with the secondary ones such as agent forwarding or TCP forwarding. Your server probably supports connection multiplexing by default. If your admins complain, it's not caching your password anywhere, it's caching the whole connection. With OpenSH you have control master and control path options, M and S, to make use of this. Start a master SSH connection using M. Since you don't have a control path in your config yet, you need to specify it in command line using S. It needs to live long, so I add the FN options to drop to background. They're technically optional otherwise. You're back to the local shell. Start a new connection through the master. You're in. To make this useful for git/resync/sftp, you need to set up control path in your configuration, because you won't be able to specify S all the time. You can automate this. Recent OpenSH versions also have control persist, which automatically establishes a master connection in background if there isn't one yet. This allows you to skip step 1 and just use SSH as you normally would. Configuration in ~/.ssh/config. First connection asks for password. The second doesn't. To control the multiplex master, stop it or configure TCP forwardings, use the O option. A similar method is supported by recent PuTTY versions.
Use SPAS. SPAS, GitHub, man page, is a tool that automatically feeds the password to SSH. The secure way to use it is this. This will read the password from ~/.ssh/compute_password, much like a private key file without passphrase. You could put the SPAS command in a small shell script or a shell alias to avoid typing that full command. Sadly, I haven't found a way to do this from ~/.ssh/config. It is also possible to specify the password directly on the command line to SPAS, but this should be avoided, as it leaks the password to anyone who can do PS. Comparison to other methods. This approach is of course less secure than properly set up public key authentication, but you probably know that already. It is also less secure than Akradi's answer about connection reuse, but it has the advantage of not having to enter the password interactively at all. You could consider Akradi's answer an alternative to pub auth with a passphrase and private key caching, i.e. SSH agent. Then my answer would be an alternative to pub auth without a passphrase on the private key file.
Use Password Manager. Some password managers, SSH-keys, have the auto-type feature. You store the password on the password manager, unlock the database when you run the manager, and every time SSH prompts you for your password you press a key combination which makes the password manager write your long password to the console. No need to copy, remember anything, except for the password to unlock the database, and you can have a strong password without mashing those 30 characters every time you try to log in. You can pick your favorite from this list. This URL.
Another alternative is to use a GUI SSH client. On Windows the obvious choice would be PuTTY. There's also a Linux version of PuTTY, notably most Debian-based distros like Ubuntu normally include PuTTY in their repo. Another really good client is Termius. It supports not just Windows and Linux but also OS X, iOS and Android. Although it was primarily designed for phones, the desktop version is actually quite good. If I'm not mistaken, the venerable hyperterminal on Windows also has had an SSH client built in, but I haven't used Windows in a very long time so I'm not entirely certain. All GUI clients include the ability to save connection settings, which includes your username and password.
Ensino onde o suporte de Chanel, Please consider subscreving.